Welcome to The Explainer. So, what does it actually mean to be whole? Today, we're diving into two really powerful and really different answers to that question. We're going to do that by looking at the incredible journeys of healing in the novels The Architecture of Wolves and The Unbecoming.
All right, so let's meet our two main guys. On one side, you've got Ivar Selden. He is literally climbing a mountain to get away from everybody. And on the other side, we have Oskar, an artist who's kind of metaphorically buried in the ruins of that same civilization. So you can see they're on completely opposite tracks, but they're both looking for the exact same thing, a way to fix a self that feels broken.
To really get where they're going, we have to start with where they've been. We have to start with the wound. For both of these men, their whole life, their whole being, has been shaped by this deep internal brokenness.
Now, for Ivar Selden, this wound is basically an inheritance. His own father tells him, there is a wolf in you. It will take you from yourself. And look, this isn't just some poetic metaphor. For Ivar, it feels like a real, living, untamable force raging inside him, a wildness that just pushes him away from the civilized world he's trying so hard to be a part of.
And then you've got Oskar. He's a failed artist in a city that's been torn apart by war, and his wound is just this crushing sense of worthlessness. I mean, it is so complete that his own sister basically exiles him from her new life. She tells him, straight up, your presence would cast a shadow. Imagine that. He's an outcast not just from society, but from his own flesh and blood.
So from that place of pain, each man goes to a totally different landscape to fight his battle. These places, these arenas, they're either going to break them for good, or they're going to become the very key to making them whole again.
Ivar's choice is really deliberate, almost aggressive. He actively seeks out the brutal, cold indifference of the mountain, a place that, just as the book says, did not care whether he lived or died. His thinking is, if he can just strip away all the noise of civilization, he can finally face that wolf inside him.
Oskar, though? He's the complete opposite. He's totally passive. He doesn't choose his arena. He's just trapped in it. He's stuck wandering aimlessly through the noise and the ashes of his ruined city, like a ghost moving through a city of other ghosts. It's all about collective trauma.
So here's the crucial point, right? The massive contrast in their battlegrounds. For Ivar, the mountain is this huge, mythic stage for a grand, lonely showdown with himself. It's a vertical climb up into total silence. But for Oskar, a simple park bench becomes the exact opposite. It's a static, horizontal space for quiet, human connection, right in the middle of all that rubble. But here's the thing. Neither of them can heal on their own. For both men, there's this one critical encounter that acts as a catalyst for change. It's a single moment that just completely changes the path they're on.
And right here is where you see the two paths just split wide open. Ivar's moment is this big, mythic encounter. Deep in the heart of the mountain, he finally meets the wolf. And he has this incredible realization. You are what I have been calling myself home. His journey is inward. But Oskar's catalyst? It's all about human connection. He meets Lena, another survivor, who says to him, residue recognizes residue. His journey starts by looking outward, to another person.
These encounters, they aren't just plot points. They totally flip a switch. They trigger this fundamental shift in how they see everything. Both men start to see themselves and the whole world through a completely new set of eyes.
Ivar's insight is, well, it's cosmic. He realizes that the division between man and beast, between self and world, these are the stories the valleys tell. By climbing above it all, he can finally see that the separation he felt his entire life, it was just a story. It was an illusion.
Oskar's insight, on the other hand, is so deeply human. Through his friendship with Lena, he discovers this concept of the unbecoming. And it's this really powerful idea. It's the state you reach after you stop trying so hard to become something. It's the realization that what's left over after you've completely failed, well, that's your most honest, most authentic self.
And this insight just completely reframes Oskar's entire identity. He starts to think, maybe art is just the shape the failure takes. He stops judging himself by success and starts to see his huge, life-defining failure not as the end, but as a new and maybe even more truthful way of creating.
So what do we have? Two incredibly different paths. One is this mythic, lonely climb, and the other is a quiet human connection. So how on earth do they both end up in a similar place, this state of peace and wholeness?
What's so fascinating is that they follow a surprisingly similar pattern, like a mirrored path. It all starts with the wound. You have the caged wolf versus the crushed artist. Then they each enter their arena, the mountain versus the bench. This leads to that core insight, oneness for one, connection for the other, and it's that insight that finally allows for the return, where they can re-engage with the world, but this time from a place of new wholeness.
For Ivar, the destination is a cosmic one. The mountain teaches him this profound truth. We are already whole. We have always been whole. His peace comes from realizing that he was never actually separate from the universe in the first place. The whole struggle was the illusion.
But Oskar's version of wholeness is so much more grounded. It's built on acceptance and relationship. He learns to stop trying to end the story, to just let it continue. See, his peace isn't about becoming perfect or whole in that cosmic sense. It's about accepting his own incompleteness and finding connection right there, in the middle of the mess.
And so, these two incredible journeys leave us with this powerful, final question to think about. Is a meaningful life built by escaping the world to find some universal truth? Or is it built by reconnecting with other people right inside of its ruins? What these novels seem to suggest is that maybe the architecture of wholeness can be built on any foundation, as long as the building itself is honest.